is Luca Majno here with Frank Gregory Ford. This is Global News Update on TLBTV, where we give you complete backstage, up-to-date info as to the developments occurring in the world today. We have video with us. We have everything working, so let's dive right into this 15-minute segment, shall we, Greg?
Okay, sounds great to me. Gosh, let's do it. Okay, first thing, okay, for the listeners, okay, the Supreme Court. I want everybody to realize right now that we don't have the United States government running the show anymore, okay? We are actually known as the United States of Phoenix, okay? And I'm referring to the Phoenix program. Be aware, folks, okay? You don't have a government. I just found out yesterday, I got my response from the Supreme Court, the United States Supreme Court. And this is on my being renditioned, tortured, standing up and filing charges of international war crimes at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq. Mm-hmm. And do you know what the Supreme Court said to me? Okay. This was right after they decided to accept a case of a baker making a wedding cake who felt his religious rights were being violated by making a wedding cake for a gay wedding. All right, two men were getting married. Okay, so they took that case. All right, and they took the case where a man was charged with walking around his own house naked. Okay, see, there's a right to privacy here and the right to religious freedom. Okay, but they did not take the case, my case, where international war crimes were being committed, thousands of people are being tortured and murdered, and I was tortured, almost murdered, and all because I filed charges to stop war crimes. The Supreme Court did not take it. Mm-hmm. Now, yes, I got feedback back, and yes, they wanted to take it. And surprisingly, the new appointee, Mr. Gorsuch, Judge Gorsuch, says, oh, yes, let's take it. Everybody else said, no, we're too afraid this will go places we don't want to go.
Exactly.
Okay? I'll repeat that. The Supreme Court is afraid to go places that they don't want to go. Okay? Mm-hmm. So what does that mean? That means, in essence, folks, you are no longer living in a democratic society. Okay? Your rights don't mean squat. Okay? They mean less than squat. Your Constitution, it's not worth the paper it's printed on. The
goddamn piece of paper, right?
A goddamn piece of paper. That's the way George Bush said it. And I'll be damned if that isn't true, George. You called it right, okay? Mm-hmm. You did more to destroy this country than any single entity in its 300-year history, all right? So that's what I was told by the Supreme Court. Now I take that to mean that all restrictions on free speech, okay, are now listed and lifted, okay, on my relationship with the Supreme Court. And yes, the American people are going to hear all about who is responsible for bringing you 3,000 dead Americans. And I hope the families of those dead hear what I'm going to tell you in the coming weeks, all right? And you're also going to be kept updated on the now present court charges of the torturers at Abu Ghraib, okay, that are now standing trial, mm-hmm. and the poor victims, the fishermen, Tanzanian fishermen that were tortured, okay, in the name of thought and terrorism, okay, and you're going to find out how your country has been systematically disemboweled, where, yes, you might as well say allegiance to the Central Intelligence Agency, the CIA. Forget God, forget country, okay? You're going to be paying allegiance to the Central Intelligence Agency, okay? Specifically the state of Phoenix, all right? That's the Phoenix program. Heaven help you if you have to call the police, from now on. The police are not your friends. The police are there to make sure that the revenue generating property that you're standing on is not threatened. They don't care about you personally or the harm that comes to you. You're just in the way. They are there to protect the interests of the oligarchy, the bankers, okay, the Bush family, the Rockefeller family, to name a few, the Mellons, okay, it goes on and on. That's who they're there to protect. But by the way, you're paying for it, okay?
Exactly.
You're also there to have your systems monitored, okay, by the prison system. The PRISM system is something like this, like what we're talking on right now, okay? That's who's monitoring this transmission to you, folks. You know why I know? Because of a nice little conversation with Mr. Ed Snowden, okay? And Mr. Ed Snowden designed the system. And he felt it was so horrible that he actually had to do everything he could to notify the American people of the massive, uncontrolled, unbelievable intrusion into your personal life, into your living room, into your bedroom, okay? Yeah, and if the CIA can even figure it out, they'll go right into the bathroom with you, okay? So guess what? Laugh if you want, okay? But remember this conversation, remember this broadcast, because we are in a lot of trouble right now. When the Supreme Court told me that, I realized just how dramatic this is. No, you don't have a free country anymore. No, you can't call the police when you're in trouble, okay, and expect help. No, forget it. No, there is, and by the way, there is no such thing as terrorism, all right? I'm finding out more and more, okay, every single day. And I'm going to be bringing you the names of the people who were working for the agency when they put the 9/11 attacks together, okay? So that's what we can expect for a program over the next few weeks, all right? You want to find out who slaughtered 3,000 people, you know, in a 30-second period, okay? It was your own folks, the people you pay your taxes to, designed a system. And this was all brought to you by, of course, Dick Cheney. Who else? All right, that goes without saying. Donald Rumsfeld, okay, all part of the elite oligarchy. The Bush family, that goes, you know, I mean, I saw something where they're proposing that making George H.W. Bush one of the largest serial killers of all time. Oh, not George. Gosh, kinder and gentler George? Okay, that just can't be. Guess what, folks? Believe me, if you watch this watered down, pimped out media that we have, okay, you know, I'd really like to talk to anybody that thinks that they're getting good news from CNN, okay? I mean, talk about pimped out, okay? You got enough money, they'll say anything good about you, okay? Just ask Bahrain, the country of Bahrain, okay? Secondly, in this case, is, you know, you're going to believe Fox News? Fox News, okay? All right, so there we go. There you have it, okay?
Greg, why don't you give us just a little bit of background for the people that don't, maybe they haven't seen the last show that we did, but we're going to talk about it more on Friday, but I'd like you to give a little bit of background on, because it's relevant to global news, now that you're talking about this, I'd like you to talk about the Phoenix program just a little bit, just to give them an overview.
Okay, the Phoenix program was started in Vietnam, okay? It was a program started by a fellow named Nelson Hickman, and the way I understand it is Mr. Hickman, okay, was in South Vietnam, and he was given this job of designing a program that would completely penetrate the entire society, Vietnamese society, and it took him a while to fine-tune it, yes, okay. Some little issues like torture centers, province interrogation centers, gee, kind of like what we have now, all right? And then the folks, those liberals, those bad old anti-war liberals kept causing problems, okay? But they finally tuned it, you know, they had the Congress of the United States behind them. They went into Vietnam. They said, okay, everybody's got to toe the line, and you're going to pay for it. Okay, you want to see your loved ones not get tortured anymore? You're going to pay for it. Okay, it doesn't matter who you are, what you think. It doesn't even matter if you're completely innocent of any kind of terrorism. Got to have that terrorism in there. Okay, you're going to pay for it, family. Vietnam, and they figure, probably hundreds of thousands disappeared into these torture chambers, and then they had a really troublesome senator named Pete McCloskey, okay, who showed up one day unannounced, walked into these torture chambers and said, "This is stopping right now." Okay. Well, no, it didn't. It really didn't. Okay. So it worked so well, in fact, that they exported this product after it was totally a failure in Vietnam. Does anybody out there want to call Vietnam a success? All right. Well, the folks at CIA liked it so much. That's what they do. They take failure programs and call them a success, and then try to shove them down the U.S. taxpayer and U.S. citizens' throat. Okay. They've done it here. All they needed was an event to completely obliterate freedom of the press, freedom of the media, okay, free speech. There's no more free speech, by the way. And they have it, okay? By the way, if you think I'm joking about the free speech, when George W. Bush tried to give a talk, okay, yes, there was a free speech area. It averaged at least 10 miles away from where he was giving a speech. 10 miles in a cyclone fenced off area, okay? That's their idea of free speech, all right? So, surprise, we get this bad old 9/11 attack by these terrorists. They're terrorists, okay? We got some problems. Okay, I know they've been busy. These agencies been busy killing off the people that have been bringing you the truth. Okay,
exactly. Yeah.
All right, Phil Marshall, ring a bell. Okay, he and his whole family slaughtered. All right, well, the folks that did it are still very angry that they didn't get that last number 5 manuscript. Oh, I wonder where that's going to turn up, and we're going to start getting facts read from number 5 manuscript about who was paid who, by what way, by what venue, okay, where the training was done, as in Pinell Park, okay, Arizona, all right, who paid for it, what the language, even that the courses were taught to the terrorists, as in Arabic, okay, all right, and who was the premier of Saudi Arabia who paid for this attack? At the behest of the Bush family. Okay. Let's give Abu Zubaydah a call. Okay. If he's still alive, we'll give him a call. But not to worry. We've already got the goodies from him on how 9/11 came down. Okay. How strange compounds were found, cutting compounds. Sulfonated thermite. Ring a bell, anybody? Sulfonated thermite. Is something that is closely guarded under lock and key at every naval weapons storage facility. How did sulfonated thermite end up in the stanchions, okay, in the girders of the 9/11 World Trade Center, okay? How did that happen? Well, we've got the radar tracings of the planes, that crashed into the World Trade Center. We have those tracings, folks. They don't lie. The Pentagon strike. Okay. Very truthful. And what was that presidential plane doing flying over the top of Washington, okay, when this was happening? The only plane. And I can vouch for this personally because this plane, the one plane that flew over at 11:30 on 9/11 p.m., 11:30 p.m., barely cleared the top of my house on that mountain ridge coming into San Francisco to pick up the Bin Laden family and a few other engineers from Aramco. Okay? So, yes, I think the public is going to be deserving. Let's face it, they paid for it. deserving. Okay, then we'll get into the whole Phoenix program being implemented. Okay, we're getting back to the Phoenix program from El Salvador, and it was implemented and it followed on into Iraq. Okay, it's alive and well. The Copper Green program, as it was renamed, is alive and well. You're paying for it, and guess what? It's going to be used on you. All right, it's going to be used on you. Okay, the American people. Did you know that Obama set it up? Okay, he even took it several degrees farther, where a president doesn't even have to justify it, doesn't even have to put a written order down. He can just say your name, and you are disappeared, kind of like Brazil or Argentina, disappeared. Okay, and guess what? You end up being tortured. They can do it anywhere they want right now.
Thanks to the NDAA.
Okay, yes, they can do that, and you can be tortured or you can be executed without a single record of the fact right now. Yeah. And please don't believe me. Go and look where is it? Texas, where they're actually doing the special forces drills now to round up people and march them onto the personnel carriers to take them to the FEMA campgrounds. Okay, as in New Mexico and Arizona. Okay, guess what? It's gonna happen. You think they're doing this because they don't want to do something, don't want to utilize it? All right, here. Okay, let's get off that for a second. Okay, what is this about Donald Trump now? Okay, being a Manchurian candidate that nobody wants to talk about. You know, these idiotic Republicans that brought you these completely traumatized elections. Remember Florida? Okay. What is this going on right now? Is this any different than Florida? Okay, this is even worse than Florida. And what is going on? All these whiny, crybaby, weak sister, hand-wringing Democrats can't, well, we need to take a long, hard look at this. Oh, God, what is going on here? Okay. Ed Snowden, he had to defect. He had to go to the Soviet Union, or Russia now. It was the former workers' paradise. Okay. Guess who designed a program that is intercepting internet traffic? Okay. Internet traffic for the agency. Okay. The agency. And by the way, he went to work for the same people that renditioned and tortured me. So I do know what I'm talking about on this respect. Yeah. Ed Snowden, he's tried to warn you people. He tried 8 times officially to let you know what's going on. And what happens? Okay, well, I can tell you what's going to happen. All right. In every sense of the word, Mr. Trump, he better offer Mr. Snowden everything he possibly can. Okay, go kiss his butt on Grand Central Station, or hell, on 42nd Street in New York City. Okay, he better be kissing the butt of Ed Snowden to save his ass, because right now, guess what? We didn't have Ed Snowden to stop all the chicanery going on about intercepts into Russia. And Vladimir Putin says, okay, you want to know? Fine, here it is. And by the way, you want to see how much money I paid Hillary Clinton for radioactive resources? Okay, isotopes. Okay. Oh, and you want to find out about where those surface-to-air missiles are? Those Stingers? Okay, guess what? I'm Vladimir Putin with the greatest intelligence services in the world. I'll let you know exactly what happened. And also, I'll let you know what happened on 9/11 because I've got the IMINT. Got it? IMINT. IMINT stands for Imagery Intelligence. I'm going to let you know as Americans. Yeah. And okay, enough about all these idiots screwing up, the most wonderful countries in the world. Okay. And by the way, Vladimir Putin does have some problem, folks, on the home front. All right. Okay. Now, healthcare. Let's wrap this thing up, Luca. Healthcare. God, I'm not the brightest bulb in the box, as I always love to say. I'm not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but I can figure this out. Hey, every single politician that you see on CNN with these very concerned looks, okay, deep concentration, whether concerned about the people of America, okay, as simple as I am, as I just stated, all right, healthcare. Me being a former doctor, okay, that had his career destroyed by the government. All right, here's what we have: healthcare. Real simple, real simple. Okay, anybody that doesn't believe me can call in and tell you about it, right, Luca?
Absolutely.
Okay, absolutely good. Healthcare. Everybody in America gets exactly what they pay for. All right, and what they're paying for is the same medical care that all these phony baloney politicians on CNN, okay, are trying to figure out how not to pay us. All right, we get exactly what the U.S. politicians get, from the president on down, okay, to the lowliest street sweeper in America. Everybody gets the same medical care.
It's
They're
the way it
paying
should
for it.
be. It's the way it should be.
Show me one politician that is paying his fair share. Okay. No, they don't pay. They don't pay for their medical care. I hate to wake everybody up. They don't pay for their medical care. Okay. But they get the best. Okay. Just ask Dick Cheney and his 15 heart transplants. Okay. Just ask him. Ask anybody. Ask Barbara Bush when she had the nerve to sit there and tell the ARP, okay, Association for Retired Persons, how her son wasn't going to threaten the entire Medicaid system. Oh, really? What happened within a few hours after that meeting when she told him that? I'll tell you what, we really should have a place for war criminals, okay, and treasonous sons of bitches like the Bush family, okay? I think that's all appropriate. That's what I've got today, okay? Well, any questions, Luca? Do you think anybody has any questions coming in?
I just got one thing to throw in at the end of this. You keep talking about being renditioned and tortured, and we're talking about the Phoenix program. I just want to throw this in. I'm from Massachusetts. I was born in Boston, living in Lexington, okay, which is right next to Cambridge, to Cambridge, the MIT, yes. Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They're so impressive and they're so amazing, and people go by there and just marvel at it. Well, guess what? MIT in 1953 took part in what became MK Ultra, what was Artichoke. What was it? Project Artichoke, and there was another one.
Yes.
Bluebird. There we go.
Bluebird. Yes.
Where MIT force-fed retarded kids radioactive oatmeal, just to see how they would react. And this goes on and on. Giving pregnant women radiation to see how they're going to react. This is what our government's been doing. So the Nazis never lost a war. They were brought to America, and they were installed, and the CIA keeps everything going. So everything's doing full circle now, and people are going to wake up real quick. Greg, it's a pleasure having you. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Hey, just remember, I want everybody to remember this, is when you call 911, all right, the police that you get at your door, and you can ask the folks that belong to Black Lives Matter, okay, those police are not there to protect you. They're there to protect property, all right? This is a really terrible concept, but always remember, hey, they don't obey the law. They don't have to obey the law, okay? They're there to make sure that you obey the law, okay? They don't care. Just ask any of these black kids that have been shot in the last, year or so, okay? They don't care, all right? But they do care if you say something about it, all right? So just remember, we're not in the United States anymore. We're in United States of Phoenix, okay, the Phoenix program. And yes, if you want to do something in this country, you have to call the CIA, okay? The Cocaine Importation Agency rolls on, all right? And there's not a pimped out politician that will try to save you from them either, all right? Okay, any questions? Feel free to send the messages in. Okay, I want to hear this. I want to hear who I'm reaching. Okay, and all the provocateurs that we've been getting from the agency, please. I know who you are. Okay, cut it out. All right. Thank you, Luca.
Thank you so much. Have a good one. We'll see you next time.
Cheerio.